Joining us to discuss today's headlines is Independent MP Di Lee in Sydney and Deputy Opposition Leader Ted O'Brien in the beautiful state. Ted, to you first up. Such secrecy makes you wonder what was said.
Morning, Carl. Morning, Di. I don't understand why there's such secrecy around this. We don't know if the meeting between Kevin Rudd and the President was a formal meeting. It was in a dining room. We don't know if it was just a matter of Kevin Rudd waving at the President. Nobody knows, but what it does expose is the fact we're even talking about this says the Prime Minister needs to meet with the President. I mean, it's crazy. You know, this is the biggest news we have of an engagement with the President of the United States, says it all.
Well, I mean, there's so many questions. I mean, even if it was just a, hey, how you doing kind of thing, you'd think you would have heard something from it. I haven't seen Kevin Rudd ever on a golf course, not to say that he doesn't play, and maybe he's just too busy over there. But also, it can't have gone that well if they haven't said anything about it.
Oh, look, possibly, Carl. Reality is, if you look at the results to date, it's, 247 days since the President was elected, no meeting with the Prime Minister. That's the priority. At the end of the day, yes, Kevin Rudd's a former Prime Minister of Australia, but he is no substitute for today's Prime Minister. That's Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese needs to prioritise a meeting with Donald Trump.
Maybe it's not such a big deal. I'm sure Joe Hockey hooked up with Donald Trump a few times on the golf course, but nothing official. So why would you keep the meeting secret, though, given how much is at stake here?
Look, Carl, can I say a secret or no secret? At least there's now a meeting, and I'm sure, you know, there is a meeting now, and with a high, you know, Kevin Rudd, the former Prime Minister of Australia, at least we have somebody speaking, or Trump is speaking with somebody from our government of that high level. So at least it's a small step forward.
Yeah, well,
the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step.
Well, it was in January. We haven't moved too far since then. Meantime, Ted Albo is pushing back on a US demand that AUKUS can be used to attack China if there is a conflict. I would have thought that was a given.
Oh, look, Carl, what confuses me about this is the way the Prime Minister is handling it. There's always got to be a strategic decision publicly. Does he want to speak with candour, with ambiguity? But to go on like a Q&A session after a speech in Australia, he sounded like a nervous Nelly. He needs to speak very plainly behind closed doors with the United States and then, of course, make a strategic decision about he wishes to communicate the government's position publicly. But, of course, the US is more than just a close ally. We have shared values and we see the challenges in the Indo-Pacific exactly the same way.
Well, at least they won't be calling on those subs anytime now for the next 15 years. So, anyway, moving on. Australia's landmark plan to fight anti-Semitism is taking shape. Di, what did you make of the government's announcement? It was late to the party, as it were.
Look, can I say from my perspective, Carl, and I think, can I speak, being a refugee who came to Australia, my family chose Australia because of its amazing, unifying and peaceful country. And I think it's, you know, that mateship, that's, you know, at the end of the day, we came here because we want to start a new life. And of course, international conflicts really impact us all. But we are now Australians. So I think that whole idea of being an Australian, coming together as Australians, I think we've lost that. And I think it's really kind of concerning for me. We need to prioritise that we are Australian first and foremost. And I think that is something that we need to constantly press on, that no matter what cultural background or religious beliefs we have, we are Australian first and foremost.
Couldn't agree more. Look, Ted, universities have been a hotbed, haven't they? Arts bodies and public broadcasters, they're all going to be brought into line if they allow anti-Jewish hate to continue. Look, at the end of the day, as sure as the sun rises tomorrow, there'll be some kind of anti-Semitic attack in this country. Have we done enough to stop it on the front lines?
Carl, we haven't, and I think everybody should be heeding the words of Di just now. I thought she spoke perfectly good sense. The government has been slow on this. It has not acted. Words are not enough. At the end of the day, we are seeing this as bigger than just a law and order issue. This is a cultural cancer. There's only one thing that changes culture, and that's leadership. and we've seen an absence of leadership from the Prime Minister. That has to change, otherwise this will not be tackled.
All right, guys, appreciate your time today. Have yourselves a good weekend. You especially Teddy on the Sunshine Coast, doing it tough up there. Thank you, Sez.